Welcome back to the Outsider Edge. Wow, what a season it's been, really getting into Dr. Leonardo Revere's work on self-management.
It really has. Quite a journey.
So as we hit this final episode of the season, the plan today is, well, to pull it all together, to kind of synthesize everything from his book into one cohesive picture for you.
Yeah, and what's so compelling, I think, is how Revere builds this case. It's not just, self-management as some trendy idea. He presents it as a real necessity given how things are changing.
Exactly.
So our goal today is really to give you that big picture, that overarching view of his blueprint, the why, the what, and the how, pulling from, well, basically the whole book.
Right. And just as a reminder, we spent this whole season deep in Dr. Revere's self-management. Cómo implementar la autogestión organizacional utilizando el Modelo Canvas, published back in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite something, going from the core ideas right through to his actual self-management model canvas. So, yeah, let's try and connect all those dots. So, starting with the why, Revere doesn't just, suggest self-management. He frames it as almost an evolutionary step we have to take.
Right.
Remember that thought experiment? The room filling with water, doubling every minute.
Oh, yeah, the exponential one.
Exactly. First 25 minutes, it's barely anything, like 3.86% full.
Mm-hmm.
Seems manageable. But then, bam, 5 minutes later, it's completely swamped.
It really illustrates that power of exponential growth, doesn't it? How things can accelerate suddenly.
And Revere's point is, that's the kind of speed we're seeing in the world now. Change isn't linear anymore.
And, well, that really begs the question, what does that mean for how we run organizations, how we manage things?
Yeah.
Dr. Revere brings in people like Ray Kurzweil, the law of accelerating returns, and Frederick Laloux's work on reinventing organizations. He shows pretty clearly that technology, and just as importantly, our management thinking, they're evolving exponentially too. We've zipped through these modes from reactive infrared up to evolutionary teal.
Right, that color model.
Yeah. And ignoring this acceleration, Revere says it's not just missing a trick, it's a very high-cost decision. It's fundamentally misunderstanding the game we're playing now.
Like showing up to a Formula One race with a horse and cart, basically.
Exactly. The cost isn't just losing an edge, it's becoming, well, totally obsolete. Adaptation isn't optional.
And here's where I think it gets really interesting. Revere argues the real driver of progress, of productivity, isn't just process or data, it's human creativity, our tacit integration capacity, he calls it. He's pretty critical of that old industrial mindset, control, command, citing Covey, Drucker.
Yeah, that factory model applied to knowledge work.
Right, and his analogy is great. The hunter-gatherer, suddenly in the farmer's world, their old skills are just absurd. He's saying that's us if we cling to those outdated management models today.
Yeah.
Because we need ingenuity now, right?
Yeah.
Problem solving, not just following stacks.
Which leads to, well, why is that old model so bad for creativity? Why does it stifle it?
Good question.
Revere uses Michael Polanyi's distinction here, which is crucial, between technical knowledge, stuff you can write down, manuals, procedures, and tacit knowledge. The stuff you only learn by doing. Like riding a bike, you can't learn it from a book.
Right, you just have to try it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the problem is, traditional management, with its obsession with control and explicit rules, it actually blocks that tacit learning. It inhibits our creative potential.
So it actively works against innovation.
In a way, yes. By trying to proceduralize everything. Self-management, on the other hand, is designed to nurture that tacit, hands-on wisdom. And to make that happen, to enable this tacit integration, he says you need 3 core things for self-management. The clear purpose, the why for the system, critical achievement factors, or CCAFs, which are the bridge between purpose and action.
The bridge.
And explicit commitments, what people actually promise to do, the tangible action.
Got it. Purpose, CCAFs, commitments. So how do you build an organization around that? What are the foundational stones?
Well, Revere anchors it all on 2 what he calls immutable truths, or axioms. The axiom of consciousness and the axiom of intentional action.
Okay, sounds a bit philosophical.
It is, but they're the bedrock. And from those, he derives 5 natural guiding principles. He stresses they're complementary, interdependent, indivisible. You need all 5.
And those are?
Consciousness, natural freedom, natural responsibility, natural commitment, and natural coherence.
Okay, let's unpack those quickly. Consciousness is
More than just being awake. It's deep self-awareness, situational awareness, making informed choices.
right, and natural freedom, not just chaos.
No, definitely not chaos.
Yeah.
It's freedom within the defined purpose. Trusting people to act without needing permission slips for everything.
Okay, natural responsibility.
True ownership of outcomes, not just being accountable to someone, but feeling responsible for the result.
Makes sense. Natural commitment.
That's about promises you choose to make, driven from within, not just tasks you're assigned. It's a pull, not a push.
And finally, natural coherence.
That's the glue, the alignment between all these things, your actions, the purpose, your own values, ensuring it all hangs together authentically.
Okay, so those 5 principles create the kind of ethical operating system for self-management.
Yeah, exactly, the compass.
So we have the principles. What are the actual practices then? The day-to-day stuff. What do people do differently?
Good question. Those principles lead to 3 master practices. They're essential, he says, and each one needs a certain primary attitude to work.
Okay, 3 practices.
First is common knowledge. Basically, sharing info, sharing power, and the attitude needed, trust.
Right, radical transparency.
Yeah. If information is power and it's hoarded, trust dies, and decisions stay stuck at the top. So open access to financials, project status, whatever's needed.
Okay, number 2.
Second, alignment between individual motivus and organizational purpose. This is huge. Finding that sweet spot where what drives you personally connects directly with what the organization is trying to achieve.
The motivus individual, right?
Yeah.
Your unique spark.
Exactly. What problem do you love solving?
Yeah.
And the attitude needed here is cooperation. Working together because your goals are genuinely aligned.
And the third practice.
Coordination of explicit commitments. Setting up a clear way for people to make, track, and see each other's promises. This needs an attitude of continuous learning. Because commitments change, things shift, you have to adapt.
It sounds great, but almost too good to be true sometimes. Does he point to real places doing this?
Oh, absolutely. He's not just theorizing. Think about companies like Morningstar, SEMCO, Bertzorg. We talked about them this season.
Yeah.
They all embody these principles and practices in their own unique ways. They're proof that this isn't just a nice idea. It's a practical, often very successful way to run complex organizations.
Right. They show it can actually scale and work in the real messy world.
Precisely. They're living blueprints, really.
Okay, so we've got the why, the exponential pressure, and the what, the principles like consciousness and freedom, and the practices like common knowledge and commitments. Now, the big one, the how. Ravier's self-management model, Canvas. This is his practical tool, right?
Exactly. And crucially, it's not a rigid template. He calls it a flexible roadmap. You use it to design your specific model for a project, a team, a whole company.
So it kills that myth that self-management is just letting everyone do whatever they want. It's structured.
Very much so. It's about creating systems that are robust, synchronized, efficient, but self-managed. So the Canvas starts with the general framework.
The rules of the game?
Basically, yeah, it's that core document, defines the scope, who's involved, and crucially, the organization's purpose. And not just some fuzzy mission statement.
Right, something tangible.
Yeah, a real contribution to society. What actual market need are you meeting? Why do you exist beyond profit? Everyone has to get it and buy into it.
Okay. And this framework also covers how decisions get made. Right, because that's often a big fear decision paralysis.
Absolutely critical point. How do you avoid chaos or endless debates? Ravier acknowledges consensus works sometimes, like at Bertzorg for specific things. But often, he argues, the advice process is more effective.
Ah, yes, the advice process. We touched on this.
Where essentially anyone can make any decision.
Whoa, hold on. Anyone. Any decision.
So here's the catch. After seeking advice from those directly affected and any relevant experts.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But crucially, the decision maker keeps sole responsibility. Think of Pixar's Brain Trust. The director gets tons of feedback, harsh feedback sometimes, but the final call is theirs.
Right. Or Morningstar's conflict resolution process.
Exactly. Step by step, escalating only if needed. The key isn't avoiding disagreement. It's having an agreed-upon process for how you will agree when you don't agree. That provides stability.
Okay, so that's the overall framework. What's next on the canvas?
Next, it zooms in on the members of the system, specifically their individual purposes.
Right.
Ravier uses this concept of holarchy, like nesting dolls or cells making up an organ, organs making up a body.
Okay, so each person is a holon,
Yeah, both a whole in themselves and a part of a larger whole. Your individual purpose is your specific contribution to that system, which in turn serves the bigger organizational purpose.
So it's about aligning those levels. Company purpose, team purpose, my purpose.
Exactly. From the big organizational purpose right down to your specific objectives and tasks. Ensuring that what you do day to day actually matters in the grand scheme. It answers the why am I doing this question. And this alignment, Revere calls it coherence. It's the critical match.
A match between?
Between the needs the company serves in the market, the needs you serve within the company through your role, and your own deeper personal needs and drives your motivus.
The motivus again.
Yeah. The stronger that three-way alignment, the more effective, efficient, and frankly, stable and satisfying the working relationship is. That's how you unlock, as he puts it, maximum productivity because it's intrinsically driven.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you've got aligned individuals.
Yeah.
How do you empower them? Information seems key.
Totally. The next section is common knowledge. Access to necessary information, essential metrics.
Like Semler's point about boiling success down to just 5 or 6 key numbers.
Exactly like that. Not drowning in data, but having clear visibility on the vital signs. And crucially, updated access for everyone who needs it.
But information is power. How do you get people, especially in traditional settings, to actually share it freely?
It requires that shift towards trust we talked about. It's fundamental. When information flows, decisions can be made where the knowledge actually sits, not just at the top. It enables that distributed agility.
Okay. And then comes the, let me get this right, polycentric system of commitment coordination. Sounds complex?
Huh? Yeah, it sounds a bit academic, but it's the absolute backbone, Revere says.
The backbone. Okay. What is it, simply?
It's basically how people make and track promises to each other. Just like prices in a market signal expectations, commitments signal expectations inside the organization.
Okay, so it's about making promises visible and accountable.
Exactly. They need to be explicit, written down somewhere dynamically, accessible to relevant people, and adjustable. This is managed through the Individual Contribution for Commitment Coordination document, or CCC.
The CCC, like a personal dashboard of commitments?
Sort of, yeah. It's a living agreement. What are you committing to deliver? By when? What are the evidences of success? How will we know it's done? Your peers can see it. You own it.
So, not a manager chasing you, but peer-to-peer visibility.
Precisely. And this network of commitments, often managed within small groups or teams, is what allows self-management to scale. It shows it's not just for tiny startups.
Right, it provides that connective tissue for larger organizations. Okay, last piece of the canvas.
The final crucial piece is the follow-up system, because Revere stresses this is all about continuous trial and error, learning and adapting.
So how do you build in that feedback and accountability without falling back into, the dreaded annual performance review?
It's a really smart, multi-layered approach, 3 layers of feedback.
Okay, layer 1.
Evaluation of the self-management environment itself, basically checking the health of the system. Is it living up to the principles? Are the attitudes like trust and cooperation actually present? It's like organizational self-reflection.
Okay, checking the system's health. Layer 2.
Self-evaluation of individual purpose. This is where you look at your own contributions, using your SUCAFs, those critical achievement factors, as a guide. Did you achieve what you set out to do? What are your new objectives? It's self-directed.
Right, focused on your impact, not just ticking boxes. And layer 3.
This is key. Peer-to-peer inter-evaluation of commitments. Colleagues looking at each other's commitments and the agreed evidences of success.
So evaluating the promise, not the person.
Exactly. Did you deliver what you explicitly committed to? It's about mutual accountability for results, fostering transparency and support, not judgment or personality clashes.
Wow. So that whole feedback system sounds like it keeps everything constantly adapting and improving, right? Keeps it honest.
Yeah, it ensures the system is constantly improving, staying agile, and remaining aligned with its core purpose and principles. It's the self-correcting mechanism.
Okay, so wrapping up this whole season of The Outsider Edge then. We started with the why, that urgent need, driven by exponential change, pushing us towards human creativity and tacit knowledge.
Moving beyond industrial thinking.
Then the what's Revere's axioms, the 5 natural principles like freedom and responsibility, the 3 master practices needing trust, cooperation, continuous learning.
Right, the core building blocks.
And finally, the how that practical self-management model Canvas, a roadmap, not a rigid rule book, for designing your own system with clear decision-making, open information, and those vital feedback loops.
Yeah, looking at the big picture, Ravier really gives us a complete integrated framework. It's not just bits and pieces, it's a whole philosophy backed by practical tools, the Canvas, the CCC,
Yeah.
tools to build organizations that are, faster, smarter, but also more human. Moving away from that old control paradigm for good, it feels like a genuine blueprint for the future of how we could work.
It really does. This whole exploration on the outsider edge has shown, I think, that self-management isn't just some alternative management style. It feels more like a fundamental shift in understanding people and potential in organizations.
Agreed.
So as we leave you to reflect on Dr. Reviere's whole contribution this season, maybe the question to chew on is this. If our real productivity engine is that innate creativity, that tacit knowledge, and if the old control models often smother it, what's maybe one small but significant assumption about how work gets done that you could challenge or rethink in your world, starting now? Just one small thing to create a tiny bit more space for your own motives individual and maybe for those around you to connect with purpose.
Powerful thought to end on.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of Dr. Reviere's self-management throughout this season of The Outsider Edge. We really hope this final synthesis is giving you a deeper understanding and sparks some new ideas. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep innovating.